2, 3, 4.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is Jewish Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Streaming live on the college station right here at tunein.com and also on the iHeartRadio app. And all week long, you can find this great program reposted on Spreaker.com. Don't forget, you can see us right now on Facebook Live. And hello to everybody, to the Dr. Kolshevsky and everybody out there joining us. And of course, just in case you don't know, this is Rabbi Pearl. And today we're looking at women and men. You see, after thousands of years of male dominance, I'm sharing you now the words of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. After thousands of years of male dominance, we now stand at the beginning of the feminine era, where women will rise to their appropriate prominence, and the entire world will recognize the harmony between men and women. These are the words of the Rebbe. Now, I want to continue with that. A couple who were having communication problems came to see the Rebbe. The woman said that her husband was consumed with his work, and that when he finally found time to speak with her, he criticized her and ordered her around. And the husband said to his wife that his wife had no respect for him and didn't listen to any of his suggestions. So the Rebbe said to him, "Listen, my friends, you won't believe this. Why do you think your wife should listen to you?" The Rebbe asked. "Because a woman must listen to her husband," he replied. "But why should a woman listen to her husband?" The Rebbe asked. "Because the man is the master of the house." And the Rebbe said emphatically, "No! The first thing you, as a man, must follow is the edict that a man should honor his wife more than he does himself. And then the righteous woman will have a husband that she can respect and love. If the man does not fulfill his role, then it is the woman who must respectfully bring this to his attention." So here's our question. Women and men, different but equal? Well, more later. But first, hang in, my friends, hang in. You see, rabbis teach us. They inspire us, we hope. They lead us. So what better way to say thank you than to tell a few jokes about them? That's what Jews like to do. So without further ado, here are some of my favorite jokes about rabbis. A rabbi and his wife were cleaning up the house. The rabbi comes across a box he didn't realize. His wife told him to leave it alone. It was personal. Okay. One day, she was out, and his curiosity got the better of him. He opened up the box, and what does he find? He finds 3 eggs and $2,000. When his wife comes home, he admitted that he opened up the box, and he asked her to explain the contents to him. She told him that every time he had a bad sermon, she would put an egg in the box. He interrupted. "Wow," he says, "in 20 years, only 3 bad sermons. That's not bad." His wife continued, "And every time I got a dozen eggs, I would sell them for $1. Okay, here we go. The rabbi and the frog. Ay, gewalt. A rabbi walks into a bar. He has a long gray beard. He's wearing tzitzis, the whole package. And he has a frog on his shoulder. The bartender says, "Where'd you get that?" And the frog answers, "Brooklyn. There are lots of them like this." All right. Hey, listen, the rabbi, hang in, everybody. What are you so excited about? Take it easy. I know that Joanne from Dalton, Georgia is with us. And, oh my goodness. And Dr. Kolshevsky is amazing. He just posted, as my wife says, "When I want your opinion, I will give it to you." I tell you, we're really having a good time here. So listen, the rabbi walks into a bar. Rabbi Epstein was particularly tenacious. He was a clergyman. And he couldn't see Jewish people getting drunk. No, he hasn't been to my shul. So one day he walks into a particular tavern frequented by Jewish patrons. Rabbi Epstein walks into the pub. He sees Stan from the shul. "Stan, you want to go to heaven?" The man says, "I do, Rabbi." So the rabbi says to him, "Stand over there against the wall." Then Rabbi Epstein asks another guy he recognizes, "Do you want to go to heaven?" "Certainly, Rabbi," the man replies. "Then stand over there against the wall," says the rabbi. Then Rabbi Epstein walks over to Chaim Yankel and says, "Do you want to go to heaven?" Chaim Yankel says, "No, I don't." Chaim Yankel says, Oh, when I die, yes. I thought you were getting a group together to go right now. Okay, listen. Rabbi Saperstein, fresh out of rabbinical school, had to officiate his first funeral for a homeless man with no friends or family. The family was to be held in a new cemetery across the town, and this man was the first to be laid to rest over there. Rabbi Saperstein arrives late, but notices a few workers gathering around the grave opening. Young and enthusiastic, Rabbi Saperstein pours out his heart and soul, and he gives his sermon and recites the prayers. He was so powerful that he brought the cemetery workers to tears. When the service was over, when he finished, the rabbi walked to his car, and as he opened up the door, he heard one worker say to the other, "I never saw anything like this before. I've been putting in septic tanks and systems for over 20 years." Okay, please, don't laugh so loud. It's cracking up the electric lines over here. Now, did you hear about this one? The mothers are gathered and showing their nachas. One boasts of a son, the head of a medical department. The other one says, my son is a judge, a daughter's a psychiatrist. One of the women quietly says, finally, they turn to her and says, what, why are you so quiet? What does your son do? He's a rabbi. A rabbi? What kind of profession is that for a nice Jewish boy? Okay, should we continue? I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure if anybody even likes what I'm saying right now. Well, 3 young boys are walking on the sidewalk, arguing over whose daddy was the greatest. Jonathan Wolf, Gewalt, he likes this. Jonathan, just hang in here. We're going to get to your important subject about men and women. Women and men, are they really equal? So 3 young boys are walking on the sidewalk, arguing whose daddy is the greatest. David says, my dad is the greatest because he's a big, wealthy stockbroker on Wall Street. No. Michael says, that's nothing. My daddy is a politician, and he's the most powerful man around. Moshe says, that's nothing. My dad is a rabbi. He owns hell. How can you own hell? Asked the other boys. Well, my dad came home last night and told my mom that the shul board gave it to him. I mean, what can I do? I mean, you get what you pay for in this program, right? This is what it's all about. So let's go to our important subject. Women and men. Women and men. Here are the words again of the Rebbe, Rabbi Schneerson. After thousands of years of male dominance, we now stand at the beginning of the feminine era where women will rise to their appropriate prominence and the entire world will recognize the harmony between men and women. These are the words of the Rebbe. A couple who was having communication problems came to see the Rebbe. The woman said that her husband was consumed with his work and that when he finally found time to speak to her, he criticized her and ordered her around. The husband said that his wife has no respect for him and doesn't listen to any of his suggestions. Why do you think your wife should listen to you? The Rebbe says. Because a woman must listen to her husband, he replied. But why should a woman listen to her husband? The Rebbe asked. Because the man is the master of the house. No, said the Rebbe. The first thing that you as a man must follow is the edict that says that a man should honor his wife more than he does himself. And then the righteous woman will have a husband that she can respect and love. If the man does not fulfill his role, then it is the woman who must respectfully bring this to his attention. Which brings us to this very serious subject. Women and men. Different but equal? You see, contemporary society is just beginning to delve into the true distinctions between men and women. Besides the obvious physiological differences, there are also differences in the way men and women think, speak, and behave. In order to understand the essential nature of a man and a woman, we must do away with human subjectivity, the way we think as human beings, and look it and think about this through the eyes of God. Well, every human being, man and woman, were created for the same purpose. What is the purpose that we're all on this world for? That is to fuse, to bring together, to synchronize the body and the soul in order to make themselves and the world around us a better and holier place. In their service of God, there's absolutely no difference between man and a woman. The only difference is the way that service manifests itself. So what are the differences between men and women? Man and woman represent two forms of divine energy. They are the male and female elements of a single soul. Right? We all come from God. God is neither masculine nor feminine, but has two forms of emanation. The masculine form, which is more aggressive, and the feminine form, which is more subtle. For a human being to lead a total life, he or she must have both forms of energy. We must have the power of strength and the power of subtlety, the power of giving and the power of receiving. So ideally, these energies are merged seamlessly. Now, men are physically stronger. By nature, he's usually more aggressive and externally oriented. In contrast, a woman usually embodies the ideal of inner dignity. Some people confuse such subtlety with weakness. In truth, subtlety is a stronger and much more aggressive than physical force. You see, true human dignity does not shout. It is strong, a steady voice that speaks from within. The nature of a woman, while subtle, is not weak. And the nature of man, while aggressive, is not brutish. For a man and woman to be complete, they must each possess both energies. The answer is not for men and women to try to be alike. All men and women must be themselves, realizing that God has given each of us unique abilities with which to pursue our goals, and that our primary responsibility is to take full advantage of those abilities. So what is true liberation for both sexes? Though feminism rightfully calls for the stop of male domination and abuse, as we see in today's world, and for equal rights for women, it is vital to get to the root of this distortion, that our focus in life as man or woman must not be simply to satisfy our own egos or needs, but ultimately our goal here is to serve the Almighty God. True women's liberation does not mean merely seeking equality within a masculine world, but liberating the divine feminine aspects of a woman's personality and using them for the benefit of humankind. After so many years of male dominance, yes, we're standing at the threshold of a true feminine era. It is a time now for women to rise to her true prominence, when the subtle power of feminine energy is truly allowed to nourish the overt power of the masculine energy. We have already proven that we can use our strength to slay the demons around us. Let us now learn to nurture the godliness within us. You see, men and women must realize their respective equal roles and strive to complement each other in their shared struggles to improve life. In order to correct the abuse of male dominance, men must concentrate on using their dominant qualities for the good. They must use their strength to protect and preserve the feminine character, helping women realize their true potential in exposing godliness, which the world so desperately needs today. Learn about it. Learn about what it means to be a man or a woman, about masculine and feminine energy. Learn to live up to your potential, to balance these energies, to lead a productive and meaningful life. Of course, I'm speaking about a godly life. And finally, let us learn to appreciate and to respect your male or female counterpart. That's what I'm here to share with you today. And just to give you, I've chosen to share this with you today because this coming Tuesday evening at our Chabad house in Mineola, we invite all the women to join us for a very special program in connection with this week has been proclaimed the week of the Jewish woman, where many Chabad houses along Long Island are having special events to honor the Jewish woman. And we too will be having an amazing program that starts at 6:45 with a guest speaker, Rebbetzin Chaya Telden, who will speak about the three powers of Jewish women and much more. So again, the gender gap. Oh,